Well, every night I come out here and I look around and I see all this little stuff that needs to get tied up, needs to get done. And I start trying to attack it all at once. It never fails. So I look at the floor, oh, we got to sweep the floor up. So do a section. Now we got to start insulating. So I do a little section. Well, we better get some boards on the stairwell. So I get some boards on the stairwell. The beat goes on. I am my own worst enemy when it comes to organization and getting things done. And I tell you, I thought it was BS. I didn't really think it was BS. I just didn't think it would help, you know. And when Nathan from Out of the Woods said, hey, make a list. He goes, I do it every day. It helps me get things done. I thought, that's a bunch of bull. So I tell you what, I've been doing it for probably about a week and a half now. Been making a list every day, just a little bit, you know, and just short lists. I have gotten more done going by that list than I have all winter on this thing. Just a little bit at a time. It's awesome. And, you know, it's something I've known to do, or I've heard people say it really helps them. I always, like I said, I always thought, that won't do anything. But it is amazing how well a list like that organizes your thoughts, organizes your mind, and it kind of takes the clutter out. It gives you a little more, I shouldn't say tunnel vision, but that's probably the best term for it, on that specific task at hand, because you wrote that list down and you want so bad to check that off of the list. And that is a really cool feeling. So if you guys are like me and you just, you know, you're all over the damn place all the time, you've got 50 million projects started, you've got nothing finished, try it out. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's a real life changer, but oh, it's a real life changer. I'll tell you what, it's amazing the difference, just the difference. It's cool. You know, if I wasn't writing it down, I'd probably still be throwing a board or two here and there on that thing once, twice a week, you know. I'd be throwing a piece of insulation up somewhere in the roof, a couple pieces here, a couple pieces there. I'd probably still have 3 sections of stovepipe left to put in with a big hole in the wall. Just unreal. Unreal. Not to sound corny or goofy or any of that, but it's just, it's kind of an old-fashioned thing that really maybe ought to make a comeback, because it is helping me a lot. So on tap tonight, we're just going to continue on sealing things up as we go. I've been debating in my mind whether I want to do the entire high part of the roof, or do I want to get this wall behind us insulated, because I can feel a lot of air penetrating the gaps in the boards. I have enough to do all the eave walls. I could do all of this and probably do a section up above us here. And I think maybe that's the way we ought to go. Now, I've got another big piece of steel to go behind the wood stove, because even though I meet my clearances to combustibles and then some. I mean, I've got it, now let's measure, I'll tell you. So the stove wants 15 inches to combustibles, so that means you can put it 15 inches up to a wooden wall and still be safe. I have 18.5 inches to the stud behind here. I have 23.5 to the outside boards. The back of that stove doesn't get hot. It has a really good heat shield on it, but styrofoam's like gasoline. That stuff burns, bam, it's gone. It's up, you're beat. So like the area in the floor here, when we go to insulate this floor, because it's going to be a while before I put a finished floor on this thing, I'm not going to put foam board underneath where the wood stove is, because if something pops out of there, it's bad enough with sawdust, but a coal hits that styrofoam, this building is gone, just gone. I mean, and I've seen coal shoot out of wood stoves 3 or 4 feet before, so you better be aware of it when you're opening the door. Sometimes it's good to crack the door a little bit, let the draft pick up good, let it do its popping and crackling, and then do what you got to do. But that is one thing. I try to keep a wood stove door shut as long as I possibly can, because that's the kind of thing you open yourself up to. So anyway, the 2 boards I talked about for the remaining eave, that's on the list first. So we're going to get those in tonight. Because I'm also worried about sparks and stuff, I was going to leave the blocking out of, oh, the blocking out up above for ventilation in the roof. I got thinking about it. On this end where the wood stove is, probably wouldn't be a good idea to do that. There again, spark flies out, something God forbid happens, you just never know. You can get a downdraft, you never know. So that has me a little nervous with the foam board. So anyway, we're gonna get after it, and I'll catch you on the other side.
Like a heavy stone bound round your neck, your neck. Oh, it can't be blue skies all the time.
All right, boy, I will be happy, very happy to get out of this corner here. This is, I wasn't thinking when I put this scaffolding over here, I've got to get out of here. It belongs to my father-in-law. And I personally have never liked working on scaffolding, just too rickety, too wobbly. He loves it though. He did a lot of construction in the 80s, back when the military base up here was expanding pretty heavily. So he kind of cut his teeth working on scaffolding. Not me. Never been a fan. So I got these last two eave sections closed up, and that made a pretty big difference as far as it started warming up in here a little bit more, which is really nice. You know, the coarse insulating, I had some really good suggestions from a lot of you guys on the best ways to cut this insulation board. And I've got to be honest with you, the easiest way I found to do it so far is just score it with a knife. Somebody, there we go, couldn't make anything flush in here. Why would you do that? Granted, it is a rough cut building, but now I know the best nails to use for putting up this insulation is the button cap nails. I just use roofing nails because it shouldn't be going anywhere, especially when we get it sandwiched with another layer of wood inside, because I'm not going to want to look at pink walls for the rest of my life in here. So I just pop a few roofing nails in it to hold it. Nothing too major. But it works well for me, so I guess we'll keep doing it. Big proponent of whatever works. One more for good measure. Boy, you guys want to see a picture of where I was last winter, freezing my ass off out here working on this frame. No walls up, no boards up, just me and the timbers. You guys ought to check out Tim over at Great Plains Craftsman. He is doing the same thing right now, and he's in South Dakota. And I'll tell you what, it looks pretty cold where he's at. And boy, I feel for him. He's working hard on that thing. He's doing a fantastic job. He had some timbers that were. He did it with ponderosa pine. And ponderosa pine is a wood that's going to move on you quite a bit as it dries out, and he found that out. As it sat, a lot of it moved on him pretty badly, so he did some really good stuff with getting it all to fit, and he got it all to fit together really, really well. He'd done some stuff we talked about here, and him and I talked about on the phone, and I tell you what, he's turned into a damn good timber framer. He's done very well with it. It's a good build. You guys might enjoy it. It's not a huge frame or anything like that, but he's like I am. He pretty much did it alone. He's up there climbing around and stuff like that. But he's a whole lot older and a little bit wiser than I am, so he's a little safer about it. But anyway, check him out. That's Tim over at Great Plains Craftsman. No, I guess we better do another one, huh? Otherwise we'll never get this done. I'll spend all night talking to you guys, wondering where the night went. It's already getting late. At least for me. Came home, took care of cows, and took care of the coal stove. By the time I got all that done, you know how it is. That whole food work job thing is just ridiculous.
I've heard a story, I've heard it said, I've come to believe that love is a bet. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, and sometimes it calls you right in the move. Come to my table, come to my bed, go easy my hunger, easy my head, bringing me fire, bringing me water, taking me high, taking me down. Give me your pretty, give me your messy, give me your happy, give me your sad. I may be staying, I may be going, I may be left, I may fall apart. Come to my table, come to my bed, go easy my hunger, easy my head, bringing me fire, bringing me water, taking me high, taking me down. Come to my table, come to my bed, go easy my hunger, easy my head, bringing me fire, bringing me water, taking me high, taking me down.
Oh, it is nice and toasty right here. Wow, very nice. Of course, maybe it's because the rest of the place is freezing, but no, it's actually not too bad. So we got those holes closed up on that side, finally. That's only been a few months in the making. Those are closed up. that cut down on the air. You could feel the breeze across here earlier tonight when we started. That cut that way down. Of course, we still have plenty of work to do to seal it up, but I tell you what, like I said, starting off in the video, boy, doing a list is helping me a lot. I don't know why I've never done one before, but what a difference that makes getting things done. You just wouldn't think it, but it is a huge difference. I believe, I don't know if any of you guys watch Joe Rogan's podcast, so I'll catch it once in a while. And, I didn't see this one, but it was mentioned, but he was talking about the only way, that's kind of the only way he gets anything done. So, but anyway, point of this one, just plugging away, sealing things up, whatnot. So nice. It's getting very pleasant up here. It's starting to feel like a shop now. I worked out of the pit of despair for years with my homemade waste oil burner out there that I made a few years ago, or a couple of years ago now. And that thing did a good job in there, but there's absolutely no insulation in that or any of that. And it's only 16 by 20 inside working space, so even by the doors of that thing you'd be freezing. But and then on the one end the stove would drive you right out of there. But I had thought about doing like a waste oil burner for this building somewhere, but I tell you what, to be honest with you, I'm pretty happy with what we have, and I'm looking forward to the sawdust burner downstairs. The planer shavings and everything, the stuff that didn't have any trash in it, I'm going to set those aside in their own separate bags. What we just swept up in the first bag, that should be like a day and a half of burning in that sawdust burner. So that's pretty cool. Neat thing about those, you load it up once and it goes all day if you did it right. We're starting to get some sleety snow. Hopefully we don't come into here to have a bunch of snow sitting in here. Should be a lot less now. But I think probably better get on spray foaming those seams here pretty soon, because that's where most of it, that's pretty well where all of it blows in. And so we got to get that done for sure. But anyway, I had, some people don't realize how big this building is. So I've been playing with the camera angles a lot lately, getting you a lot more GoPro stuff, because I think the quality's a lot better than the phone, and I have it. I should be using it more. So it's been really nice to set that up there. And earlier too, when we had it set on the sawhorse, I was pounding some nails and it didn't vibrate at all. Not like the phone on the tripod does. I mean, there was no vibration in that footage. So I'm pretty happy with that. But well, I'm just kind of rambling on. But anyway, we get that GoPro on the one end of the actual shop space, and that's not even the entire barn. I mean, we still have another section behind it that'll be for Mary and the kids for, I guess, pool table going in there and her workout stuff. So I'll give you an idea how big this really is. That footage there really captures it quite well. It's 28 by 38 in this section. That'll be our wood shop, and that's pretty good sized wood shop. It's not huge, but that's pretty good size. So we'll have to figure out some ways to utilize the space as best as possible. I do have plenty of room to work timbers up here as long as we don't trash it up. So I'm just going to chip away at cleaning up the trash, getting that taken care of. I can't believe I finally, I've had these trash barrels here forever. I've had so many viewers tell me, where's your trash barrels? You should be picking stuff up, and absolutely right. So I've got those up here now. I'll get some contractor bags and see if we can't keep this a little bit cleaner than we did the rest of the project. So now that we're kind of getting to a good point, we'll start doing that. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this one. We're on a roll right here of daily videos, so we'll see if we can keep going with it. As long as I have the content to put out, we'll put out daily. If I don't have it, then I'm not going to try to fill you up on a bunch of bullshit videos. So anyway, have a good night, guys. I'll see you on the next one.